Keir Starmer has got a better responsibility to ensure his wording is not provoking. And I believe he's provoking on purpose.
Say more things.
So, like, why is he saying we will protect Muslim communities? Why is he not saying we will protect all communities?
Well, isn't that in a response to a particular community feeling like they're under attack?
But you just said it. How do you know? Why do you feel provoked and under attack? Have you been under attack yet?
Me personally?
But you've read it, or you might have seen, or you heard that a certain community is under attack. I think the biggest thing to be sort of like aware of is that someone's shaking a jar right now. You know, if this is happening over here, what's going off over here? So the things that I see over here is that we're on with CBDCs. It's been in the thing now, in the public knowledge for over 18 months. So the question the question I have, when does this implement? When's it implement?
But when's the last time you had cash? It's nice to have a bit of cash, but we use cards already.
Yeah, so
how's that different from a CBDC to you, to our usage?
How do you implement it?
What do you mean? Just make the switch. So you've got that much in your bank now. You've got that much. Why not?
The government know they can't just do that. Something
Why can't they?
you have. It's a big change, and again, everyone's poorly educated. Some event needs to happen, right? Why 15 minutes is?
If a news report, if the government released a circular today saying old £50 notes, they're going to change. So if you've got anything, same thing they do every time because they're sick and tired of forgeries, right? What if they do now? Anyone that's got any cash, any actual cash, you have to go to your bank. You've got a year to do it. Bring it to the bank, and it'll all be done. We're going over to CBDCs. It'll save the taxpayer this much money. I'll do this. We'll do that. I'll do that. It'll be so much more efficient, and blah blah. No more fraud. No more thieving. No more crime. The criminal gangs won't be able to get away with this. Drug dealing will plummet. You know what I mean? Illegal prostitution. All of that will disappear because there's no cash transactions.
So just on that note,
so everyone will go, yeah, banging, do it.
Oh wait, will they?
Why won't they? Who won't?
You genuinely asking that question?
Yeah.
You're telling me now, every drug dealer...
Drug dealers?
Right, every drug dealer that is cash rich...
The drug dealers will have a problem with it.
Right. So who do you think's now going to incite riots?
Well, you think drug dealers are going to incite riots?
Well, you think they're going to be happy?
Brav.
You think gypsies are going to be really happy? I wonder what percentage of the population they take up.
No, only a small percentage.
It's going to be huge. It's enough to tell you, mate, like, hey, listen, the idiot, right? Here, listen, this is not good. It'll hurt you, that. All the users of drugs, you think they can pay for drugs out of the wages? Out of the bank? Bro, you think it's that easy to make a switch? Not a cat and house chance. So there's one reason where you need to cause a distraction. Second reason, what about 15-minute cities?
That's creepy.
It's happening.
It is. It's happened already, isn't it?
ULS cameras are already in. We're already planning for 15-minute cities. Like I said, CBDC is already happening. 15-minute cities.
In Oxford,
they're already happening. Correct, yeah. Right. The world is changing.
It's for environmental change. It's to protect the environment.
You're sold, aren't you?
No, I'm not sold. I don't like it.
Right, but listen.
I don't like it. I don't like this kind of impact.
It's fair
on my
to
freedom.
say the world is changing.
Yeah.
Right.
But why?
You need to make a significant event in order to make the switch.
But we had a significant event. We had COVID.
Didn't we trial it? And it worked well, didn't it?
But why did you need a trial? Why don't you just do it?
How?
You've had COVID. You had it. You're like, right, let's do it. Let's crack on.
We weren't ready. CBDCs weren't ready. It only implemented 18 months ago. 15-minute cities have only just started being rolled out. Now we're going to conspiracy theories here, obviously, but these things are actually happening. Yeah. What next? The world power order is changing. Big things are actually changing in the world. These things are 100 years, like, they don't happen every day. Of course, they have to be planned, trialed, executed, things like that. There's something happening that we're not aware of, and they already know it's happening.
Something is happening.
We're just in the middle of it.
Yeah.
People are being forced to fight amongst themselves. Because while you're fighting amongst yourself and you're discussing this big thing...
You're not paying attention.
What's happening over here? Did you know yesterday the stock market's absolutely plummeted in America?
No.
Oh. We need to wake up. Things are happening over our right shoulder. So we're not been heard.
No,
That's why people are rioting.
Yeah,
Period.
I do think like that is you're creating a scenario where people are feeling too frustrated. People are getting mugged left, right, and centre.
Do you know it's interesting to hear you say what is happening? I'm not naive, but I'm not seeing it. People from my side of what I know, people are rioting because they are sick to death of not being heard. Right?
So the rioting part to one side, I understand the actual protest itself. The protest itself has a point, right? The part where it gets abusive and racial, no, I don't get that point.
Game over. Yeah.
But there is a legitimate concern. There are real questions that aren't being answered, right? And obviously not the part about was it this flavour person that did it or that flavour person that did it.
That's horse crap.
The other point is this: if it was this flavour person that did it, does that then entitle you to do what you just did? No. A div is a div. Who cares what colour he is?
It's relevant to the colour. This is why I don't understand. It's nothing to do with race.
It might be relevant, the fact that soldier was stabbed by an illegal immigrant. It might be relevant where that illegal immigrant came from. That might be relevant because if we currently have foreign policy initiatives, right, where we're smashing up other people's countries and carpet bombing their children and stuff, if that's what we're doing, if we then take refugees from there, we might want to think about the danger that we're putting our citizens in. Right?
Well, this is again another thing that's also
that's a legitimate question.
100%.
Whether the answer is stick them in a boat and send them to Rwanda, I don't know, Pretty Patel, my love. I don't know. You sound like a psycho, but I'm not saying you are one. Not talking about you behind your back, love. but that sounds mental, doesn't it? It sounds mental, right? But there is a question that needs to be answered, right? If you carpet bomb Iraq and kill hundreds of thousands of people just because you don't like one geezer, you know?
We can't be naive to it. It happened.
Yeah, it happened.
George Bush did it, and as did, but come on,
Tony.
no, I think that's a whopper. Bush and come on, President
Obama.
Both proven. We sometimes joke about, are we the bad guys?
Oh yeah, I come to terms with the fact that I think we might be, but then that's slightly simplistic. Are we the bad guys? When you look around, I think most of them are bad guys.
Do you know what I think we are? We are people intended to do the right thing, but sometimes to do the right thing, you've got to do.
I think we went round and we enslaved half the we. I'm the consequence of the slavery, man.
Love it.
No, but no. England was never planning on being a good guy. So I was watching.
No, but what was the difference between good and bad back in the day?
When you enslaved human beings and you just beat the shit out of them.
We didn't know it was slavery back then. It was just how it was.
No, it wasn't how it was. Come on, I wouldn't kick a dog. Do you know what I mean?
No, but look, what
I don't need the dog to start talking to me to realise that I shouldn't kick a dog. You know? No.
They were evil. That intelligent back then. Oh, they were definitely evil.
They were evil, man.
What the irony was that the black man sold the black man to the white man.
Yeah.
Right.
We did, but look what we did in Ireland. Look what England did to the Irish, man. It was horrible. Oh, come on, that's crazy. Queen Victoria starved those people. Starved them. And what was his name? The Ottoman king at the time? I can't remember his name. But he didn't want to embarrass the Queen, so he secretly sent food to the south of Ireland by ship. He sent food. Do you know they've got a plaque there commemorating?
Really?
Yeah. And I think they've got a moon and star on their football team in that town. But I don't know whether that's from that or whatever. But
I don't know that.
They've got, because he didn't want to humiliate the Queen, so he gave financially less, but then privately sent ships of aid to the Irish. They were going to make a movie about that. Rough. But that's the Muslims helping the Irish. No, the Irish sticking up with the Palestinians. Go on, lads.
And I think, look, there's a bigger picture to be played, right? And
But
it's way outside of our...
I don't know
knowledge.
who's evil and who isn't evil. I know that.
Well, evil's different to good or bad, don't you think?
Well, I think we've been bad.
I think good people were definitely knowingly making bad choices. Because it
That's
was fight or
choice.
flight.
When?
Well, it always has been. Way back when, even before Musketeer Gang came about. You know what I mean?
Mm.
They still tried to be good people, but they knowingly were bullying and doing the bad thing. But it was fight or flight.
Mm.
You know, any which way, any breath they took, they knew you're on a knife point. You were never safe.
Yeah.
You know, and I think when it all started to come good, and I think when you look at it, all the old telltale stories about white man showed mercy to a black man because that was just abuse. Well, that's a human being.
Mm.
You know what I mean? That's nothing to do with colour of your skin.
Mm-hmm.
That's like, I have got a soul.
Mm-hmm.
That's wrong. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's where we are today. You know, we've gone there. And I think what needs to happen is everyone needs to stop judging what was way back when today. What was then was then. We're not those people. Today we're in a society where everybody is accepted. Everybody has the right to live today. I don't see someone for the colour of the skin. I see somebody for who they are and what they do. You know what I mean? We're completely conditioned differently today. Now, again, that comes down to culture as well. Go back to that prison effect. You get those idiots. You take that racist dude you were talking about on the radio this morning. You sit down with him and you give him some education. I guarantee you'll draw him to tears if you educate the guy in the right
Yeah,
manner.
I believe. Honestly, I did believe that in my heart when I heard it, and I honestly think that, you know, while whoever wants to shake the jar, shakes the jar, I think we've got a responsibility.
Of course we have.
To talk to these people and to sit with them and say, look, why don't we find a way to fix this? Why don't we actually find a way to fix the problems that we've got?
Well, do you know the funny thing is, what's the problem?
Well, I mean, people are poor and they're hungry and they're struggling and they can't seem to make ends meet, and it's a lot, man. I mean, okay, look how hard it is to do well. Look how hard the day-to-day is, and you're doing well. Do you know what I mean? Like, you just, the job is the job, right? You go to work and the job is the job. You have the difficulties that you have, and you're sword fighting whoever you got a sword fight in the day, and then you got to go home, and then home is whatever home is. Like, Matt, like your internal world is nuts, and then you've got to deal with ex-person, family member, this, that, and the other, ex-mates doing this, that. You've got all of that madness going on. We're doing just fine. Do you know what I mean? Just imagine being broke. Just imagine being broke, man. Just imagine struggling every single day. Just imagine having your missus look at you like, what is this? This is you at your best? This is you at peak? Just imagine having your kid, knowing your kid at some point. You know, and that's a journey that a lot of fathers go through. That point where the son looks at the dad and goes, actually, you're a dick. This isn't a man. Like, I'm a guy. I'm a whole man, and I'm got to wait for my kid to do that because I can't make ends meet, and I can't seem to get it right because I've got to do 15 hours a day on site or wherever, and I've got to come home and I've got to deal. It's just a lot. Going back to that thing, and most men lead lives of quiet desperation, bro. It's a lot, man. It's a lot to be broke and living. Okay, that whole thing about life is uphill, but if you haven't got some partners to just hold you on your way up that hill.
Yeah, but don't we all make choices though?
Player, we've been through this. We've been through this. Yeah. All right, it's not easy for everyone. Not everybody is blessed in the same way as you. Yes, everybody has choices, and some people made some bad choices, but mate, 20, 30 years later, they're paying for that mistake. And maybe that's right in the grand scheme of things and spiritual cosmos, whatever. Maybe that is right. Maybe that is the penalty. But
is it down to the education in the first instance, though? If we taught people the right education from day one.
Yeah, 100%. We shouldn't be educating slaves. We shouldn't be educating people just so they can go and work in the factory. No. Right, I get that. I get that. But you're right. People do need a better education. People need a better cultural education. They need to be enriched. It doesn't matter where you work. It doesn't matter where you end up working, right? It does, that part isn't...
So I had a discussion the other day about like public service. I believe in it. Not because I don't believe you should go overseas and, fight a war that's not like the responsibility of you or anything. But I mean it for the simplistic things in life, such as change a light bulb. How many grown-ass men do you know that cannot physically change a light bulb?
Important. I do think it's important.
Right,
think...
The military public service, right, comes back down to aid. If a nation can be united, be it patriotic or not, I think if you have a traditional heritage, a positive one, that is of great influence, then everybody in that native country should be a support of it, right? So if we've got a military service, for example, but that military service is there to provide aid and protection to that island, right, or whatever it may well be, for the positive. I'm talking people are now struggling on the streets. Great. Pack up all your belongings. You're going into that military, right? You will learn how to change a light bulb. You will learn how to wipe your own backside. You will learn how to sew. You will learn how to fill a sandbag. You will learn the art of teamwork, the art of communication. We will strip you back to your naked, born self, and we will rebuild the man or woman that has every potential you have got. We should be doing that for all people on this continent, right, in this country. We don't. We're a failure. The reason we're a failure is because we don't have the money to resource that.
Is that right?
Oh, the military have turned around and said, we ain't got the money to train these people, to strip them back to bear, to then rebuild them.
They were desperate for recruits.
Bro, that's conversation. We're recruiting from the Commonwealth.
That's because homegrown don't want to join.
Nah, that's not necessarily true. It's because one homegrown don't necessarily want to join.
If we're recruiting from the Commonwealth, we still have to train those people.
But so, have you heard the philosophy or conspiracy, in that if you need to put military on the streets because we're rioting, are British militants that walk the street of Nottingham, irrelevant to your ethnic background, but you reside in Nottingham, are you going to get shipped back to Nottingham in your full suit of armour, see the people that you see on a daily basis when you're at home, and put full force in your job in front of those people?
I can see the problem with it.
Yeah, it's never going to happen, is it? So English person is not going to attack English person because they were told to by another Englishman. They're not going to do it.
Yeah, but you're not supposed to.
You're not supposed to.
No, that's not the reason that you'd put... Why would you want military on the streets
Order.
Anyway?
Why rioting?
Yeah, but
Right, so the point being is that it's now... They call it about a UN, don't they? Bring UN in to bring some order back into the streets. We can't do that with British police.
They're talking about getting the UN. What? What did you say?
There was a 40% chance of bringing the UN in to enforce the peace, restore the peace.
Is this true?
That was conversation, yeah.
But who said that?
At
Who
what
mentioned that?
They said at what point?
Oh, it was just a conversation. Someone was saying, at what point are we going to actually have?
Yeah, I don't think it was anybody saying we're going to bring them in. It was they were saying at what point.
Well, you wouldn't need to bring the UN. Just bring the boys back.
What boys though?
No. Because the soldiers, they all have to do is turn up and be quiet. Because the coppers are standing up and being quiet. They're like, look, stop. If you've got a couple of soldiers, good old boys with the forearm the size of that, going, I think you just calm down 5 minutes, and we'll see what happens.
Do you think soldiers today have forearms like that,
Mate?
bro?
Look, don't get me wrong. I don't like them going abroad and shooting people and blah 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 blah. But I've always I don't know why, but I love them.
I think it's epic. I genuinely do.
I love them.
From my perspective,
I've still talked to my brother
about joint TAs.
Yeah, did I tell you?
Yeah, you did. Yeah. I think it's epic.
I still might do it.
Yeah, the assault course, things like that. I mean, absolutely epic. I think from my perspective, it's like there's ways to fix the country. There's ways to fix the community.
My problem is, although TA is different, but my problem is if you don't trust your government, right? If you don't trust the government, right?
You can't
If you
stand
think
for 'em either.
Keir Starmer's doing this, that, and the other, how are you going to encourage people to join the military if they're like, well, I don't trust what he's going to do abroad. Where's he going to send me? For what Machiavellian purpose is he going to go and smash up the Congo now, or smash up this other country, or go to have a fight with Russia or China? If I don't believe in this guy or the government or what they're doing or their intentions, if I think this is like some global conspiracy, how am I going to join the military? How am I going to let him lead me? You know? That's the problem. That's the problem that you've got with the master plan. But yeah, I think people doing military service, it feels like the right idea. It feels like a good thing for people to do, because, I mean, you know, you lean on one another. You can't help it. You know, you lean on one another really quickly and realize, I can't do it without him. I cannot do it without that guy. It doesn't matter, color, flavor, whatever. I can't do it without that guy. That's why the police, look in America, right? They've got Black Lives Matter, All Lives Matter, and then the police were like, you know what? Blue Lives Matter. Shut up, you lot. Right? You've got,
really?
Yeah. Blue Lives, and then like, and it's all, you know. There was a guy. I got to show you this guy, and he was talking about. He just was standing there saying, "This gang, you know, if you lot think you can come into our town, we're going to do this to you, that to you, and if you think this is a racial issue, look behind me. We've got and all the coppers were loads of coppers were black,
Different ethnicity.
but then they had leaders from the black community as well. They're like, look, and he goes, and if you look, I think it's really brilliant. He says something like, and if you want me, I'm not hard to find. It's just a good old boy, but it's just a really nice thing, you know. It's like, I don't know.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing for me is I do think there's something bigger at play here. It's not racial. Yes,
No,
that is a byproduct.
It isn't.
It's
racial.
a byproduct.
It isn't racial, and I mean, is it some global thing, or is it like bad actors from a rogue state like that we are currently in the middle of a proxy war with, that are, you know, controlling social media or controlling a number of social media bot accounts that are then pushing a certain narrative forward, not because they care about any of the flavors involved, but they just want to sow discord in the same way that we've been doing in other countries all over. You know, we'll just support one side just to overthrow the government for a laugh, because it's better if it happens internally rather than us shooting a president. You know, and
That was attempted, wasn't it?
well, many times.
Failed attempt. Why can't we all just get along?
Look what happened with the whole Lockerbie bombing. An American aeroplane left UK airspace, tried to kill Gaddafi, bombed his palace, ended up killing his daughter.
Oh, yes.
So he took an American airplane and blew it up over UK airspace. You know, there's a lot of innocent people that got caught up in this horse shit. Do you know what I mean?
Today is different because, like, World War II, there were big players fighting. Today, the little players back then are now equally big players today. You know, there's a lot more at stake. I mean, don't get me wrong, I know the big players then have obviously escalated a little bit, but I don't know, there's definitely something happening. BlackRock apparently won the contract to rebuild Ukraine under Biden administration. So if Trump was actually to get in, they wouldn't have got that contract. I wonder why he was assassinated or attempted. And just look at the stocks, that kind of backed it up as well. The amount of money placed on, you know, Trump's disappearance. You know, the stocks were weighted that way. So obviously once it failed, it did the reverse.
But is that just coincidental? Because isn't that what would happen to the stock? Because if a contract is awarded,
BlackRock put a lot of money down on that happening.
Well, yeah, because if they were awarded the contract, right, the market will see that, see BlackRock making its investments, invest more into BlackRock, its shares will go up. If
The timing then must have been so crazy because I think it was the morning of the assassination. And then I think the rumour went that BlackRock asked for their money back. Listen, all I'm saying is conspiracy theorists. There's loads of stuff going. I think there.
on BlackRock, are they the same people that were kicked out of Iraq because they were starting a race war there? They were dressing up as Muslims and bombing mosques to pretend it was a Shia-Sunni conflict.
I think that's right. Yeah, BlackRock.
Bro, how crazy is that? Just to try and start a civil war.
Ooh, now then, that'll talk you some here. Is that happening over here?
Why?
Like I said, it's
just
not
to
what's
distract
here.
us.
It's over here.
Just to distract us from.
Maybe. We haven't seen it yet, but I'm sure something will happen where we'll say, "Oh, by the way, why you been writing? This has been happening." We haven't seen it yet, but I'm pretty sure of it. These riots are childish. Literally, you've got kids doing what they're doing. They're not even educated. There's no racism in their head. Why are people looting Shoe Zone? Shoe Zone? It's the cheapest shoe store on the high street. They've looted it in Hull. Lush, a soap.
Hull's pretty poor.
Pretty poor. Shoes? Greggs? Soap? You'd go to prison for looting soap, a bath bomb. Now, I have heard they are I don't think they're franchise stores, but they're something to do with sex trafficking.
Who?
It's the be it managers of the stores, the owners of the stores, whatever. So I think the one of the reasons why they did it to those particular shops is, but that was accused of it was something to do with sex trafficking. Again, the illegal immigrants. So they've targeted those shops.
No, that doesn't make any sense.
It doesn't make sense, but then you'd also say,
an immigrant couldn't own
why
a
wouldn't you?
franchise in this country.
Well, we're not going to go down this rabbit hole because
It's not possible.
Part-
An immigrant could.
yeah, so
an
an
illegal
immigrant,
immigrant couldn't.
correct, yeah. But, so someone legal can. We're not going to go down that rabbit hole. Some vape shops are profitable. I know those that are not.
Yeah, so a lot of companies, a lot of businesses are money laundering enterprises.
Yeah. A lot of the things that have been... The reason they're attacking hotels is because that's where the illegal immigrants are currently housed.
Mm-hmm.
So the hotel that was targeted in Rotherham is because it was housing the illegal immigrants. That's why they was trying to burn it down. Yeah. I mean, nuts when you think about it. They're trying to murder someone.
Yeah.
What?
They're trying to murder everyone.
Yeah, all those poor immigrants.
It's mental.
I mean, they deserve really a bravery medal for doing what they did. Not that I agree with it, but what they had to do to actually get in the first place, you see, I think, this guy should be in Olympics, really. You know what I mean? But the point I'm kind of getting at is like, you don't burn them down, go and punish the in ways of which it will hurt the government, not hurt the innocent insurance companies that are going to have to now pay out. Don't hurt the companies that own these buildings or businesses. They've done nothing wrong in this scenario.
Or the immigrants.
Well, no, the immigrants equally shouldn't be part of this scenario. You know, they've done what they've done. They should be held at the border. If they've been allowed
the
in,
immigrants
it's because our system's weak.
Yeah, well...
You know what they should do? They should starve the government of tax. If they want to really riot and protest, stop paying taxes right now. You watch them, what they have to do.
What is
to
the
get money.
solution to illegal immigration?
We need honesty before we answer that question.
Go.
Why are we accepting immigration on the scale that we're doing right now?
Why does it turn up at our doorstep, or why do we accept it?
No, so accepting it is one thing.
Okay.
Why we're accepting illegal immigration is one thing. But on the scale...
Do you mean immigration or illegal immigration?
Illegal immigration. Immigration is absolutely fine.
Right, okay, so let's put that to one side.
Yeah, zero issue with immigration.
So illegal why are illegal immigrants turning up in the first place, or why do we accept them?
Well, we know why they're turning up. This is the land of the free, isn't it?
All right.
You know, so they're getting
So,
everything.
so they turn up. So European countries, pretty much any land that's connected, they'll move to. Right, it's easier. Crossing water boundaries is harder. Right.
Yep.
So illegal immigrants come from crap countries. Let's call them all economic migrants for the sake of this.
Yeah.
No, that won't work. Let's just call them illegal immigrants. So illegal immigrants, let's say 100 have turned up to the UK. Just 100 have turned up to the UK. What do you want to do with them? You're saying, why are they there? They're the ones that have turned up. Right? I'm little old England. 100 illegal immigrants have turned up. Now, when they turn up, I say, no offense, go back to your own country. Right? Standard, first move. They say, refugee. It's dangerous in my country. And then we say, I see your point. I wouldn't want to go to your backwards country either. Come in. We need to process you to find out if you're a goodie or a baddie as best as we can. But obviously, we're not going to send you back to that country. Right? Which is why those lunatics, that's not fair. That's not a nice thing to say. That's why they were like, all right, we can't return you back to your country because we'll send you to Rwanda. Rwanda? Didn't they make a movie about that? Right? But that's why they were doing that. They were like, all right, you want to come here? We'll send you there. Right? And then they tried to make it, we don't like illegal trafficking because it's dangerous for the immigrant. We love immigrants. That's why we're sending them to Rwanda. Right? To stop. You're like, shut up. Right, anyway. So here's the scenario. 100 have turned up. What am I supposed to do with them? I can't send them back, can I? I can't just send them back willy-nilly, can I? I can't just go, F off out. That's harsh. That's unkind. It's not English. It's not the English way.
It's interesting how we're turning into the good guy.
Okay, but let's be the good guy.
I've got no problem with that.
Because
we was the bad guy.
We've always been the bad guy. We've been terrible.
We're now turning into the good guy.
Right, that's okay. But there's got to be some sort of limit. There's got to be some sort of limit there. Don't know. I don't know the answer to this. But because only 6% of England's built on, you know that. You're a builder. So space. We've got space. Don't worry about that. But here's the thing. I've got 100 people here now. What am I supposed to do with them? Are we doing the best we can? Is that actually what's happening and we just got a rubbish system?
So my view on this, immigration, we earn money off it. Illegal immigration, we don't earn money.
Do we not?
Where from?
I don't know the answer to that.
Where do we take money from?
That's going to take a little bit of research.
Yeah, of course, definitely. So think about it, right?
We must get paid.
Let's say...
How is it possible
Let's say
that a Tory
50
government...
people turn up on your doorstep at home.
Yeah, I see the problem.
Hey, Azam, hey. These guys out on the street are rioting. Can we come in your house, please?
Yeah.
You're accepting them in. Don't know them from Adam. All fighting men.
It's problematic.
It's like, guys...
Of course I'm going to be like... yeah.
And I'm outnumbered here. Like, I want to do the right thing, so I'm going to judge off the face value. I'm going to trust that we're civilised people. I'm going to invite you to my house. Do not do anything bad in my household.
Yeah, obviously.
You
so
can't
then
rape. You can't theft.
You can't do anything bad. Don't do anything bad.
Good.
You got to be good. Yeah. Gazebo. Can I stick them in a gazebo out back?
Oh.
So that's what we've done, isn't it?
Yeah.
So we create a gazebo, and then we process them one by one.
And it's taking to how long are you processing me for here? I want to do stuff. I'm an entrepreneur. There could be millionaires within those. I get it. So when I said to you earlier about the government, right, in terms of pause this second, right? Mm-hmm. My little lad's football club started when he was 3 years old. He's now 12, right? Back then, it was a smaller club, and there was less policies. There was one chairman. There wasn't a board. There was a couple of managers that was on a very small field. Today, it's a community football club. It's got a stadium. It's got a junior football club, and there are potentially 50 managers. It's a big club. A scenario happened over the summer which saw two clubs try to merge, but then they couldn't merge because there was politics where some children were going to get left out. So we decided not to have a merge. And then there was some bullying happening. So there was complaints raised to the board, because it's now the board, right? And they turned around and they went, don't want to say no, but we don't know what to do here. What do we tell these guys who've made a complaint? The people who raised the complaint went, excuse me, how long is this complaint process? Because you haven't got back to me yet for about 5 weeks. And they're like, shit, what do we do? Right? I was sat there and I went, hey, listen, you lot who've made your complaint, when they don't know how to deal with something, they have to very quickly learn how to deal with it and then get back to you. That is going to cause you frustration because you're like, this is not good, this is not how you deal with complaints, right? So their complaints procedure wasn't even drafted, they didn't even have one. So they needed to very quickly learn how to do it, practice it on you, my friend, right? And you need to understand that this is new to them. This is kids' football, right? Let's play this scenario back to the UK. So the UK, we've had immigrants into the country. So as well as the tax department, as well as the benefit department, as well as all the other departments within the government, there will have been an immigration department. And that department was doing pretty terrible. Not processing quick enough. We know that immigrants, be it if they're refugee or whatever, it would take approximately 48 months to get them processed, to the point where they get into the country, they're stripped down naked in front of a doctor, male or female, stand, legs akimbo, arms up, and they get a full body check inside an external body check.
Is that what happened?
That's what happens today with immigrants that are refugees. These have probably had, especially Afghanistan refugees, we've got some in our homes, we house them, and these people have, they've got degrees and stuff, but they have been stripped to their naked self, and they've had internal checks, every hole going. They've been fully checked out. They know exactly what's in and on their body. And they're processed into the system. That's it. Okay, well done. Welcome to England. They already been stripped of their dignity as an adult, but that's what they have to go through. That process is extremely slow. 18 months of it happens in their current country, and the last part happens over here in the UK. But before they even get here, they go through rigorous checks, and they have to learn.
That's legal immigration.
That's legal immigration. I've learnt that because I spoke at Cast on behalf of Donny Council, and we were there as a nominee surrendering our houses up for them to move into. So when they imported into the country, they go straight to our houses, and great experience to learn from that. So tax department, they've got income tax, company tax, loads of different taxings. Right, that department's semi-okay. Some are good, some are not. We spoke about several different departments within the government. The legal immigration department are so slow because they're not good at it. They are refining it. They need to probably add a bit more resources to it.
What do you mean they've been doing it forever?
But they're not great. They're very slow in the process because they want to be methodical. They want to be humane about it, but it's got to go through a slow process, right? We're now looking at, we've got illegal immigration here. Well, that's under-resourced, isn't it? How can we tell the public taxpayers that we're now going to take maybe 3% of the taxable income and now create a new division that's just going to deal with illegal immigration?
We've had illegal immigration since forever.
But bro, the numbers are growing. It's now under-resourced. So now it's underperforming. And they're stressed because the people dealing with the illegal immigration no longer want to deal with the illegal immigration because some of those illegal immigrations, they listen to the news every day. And it's been told that it's the same people that they're processing who are doing people on the streets. Yeah? So these people don't want to work in that anymore because they know they're contributing to part of the problem. So they're leaving. So the rotation,
really what's happening?
the rotation of staff is very, very high, right? So now that division of people, what was small is slowly growing, but it is very clearly under-resourced. Going back to the figures I told you earlier, 4% of all illegal immigrants from January to July, 4%, bro, have been processed. 4.
And what does processed mean, by the way?
They've gone through, they've arrived on a boat, and you're now free ticket, off you go. Pay your taxes.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah.
So that's what processed means.
Processing
so we know
is
your name because have they got papers?
bro, do you know where they go? Bring them in, and they're sending them to RAF camps.
Yeah.
And so they're under control. They can't leave the camps and whatnot.
So what
They're
about
there,
these people in hotels?
But they're given a phone.
Are they
Same.
They're okay.
They're part of the process.
Are they allowed to leave the hotel?
No, that's their residency until they're processed.
So they have to stay trapped in the hotel?
Yeah.
Is that right?
Yeah. I mean, they go out and walk around, but their full livelihoods are in that hotel.
Gotcha.
Everything.
Because they can't work or go to school?
No, nothing.
Wow.
So they're there until they are processed.
Okay.
Hence why these people are trying to burn down these hotels. They're like, we have had enough of these people getting a free ride in this country. It's the wrong message to send. That's not what they've had enough about. They're equally... I mean, we are all poorly educated in this.
Yeah.
You know, where are these people coming from? One, right, okay, so if they're here, please someone tell us how they're going to contribute to society. Because it's our taxpayers paying for them to be in there. That ain't fair. And then to make it worse, we've been told that it's those people that are doing the bad stuff to our children. So clearly the people can get frustrated. Of course they are. You only need someone to shake the cookie jar to go, hey, by the way, it's racial. No, don't work like that. Because there's also the white guy doing the prison. You know what I mean? It's not like, it's not one culture that's doing all the harm here.
It's just divs.
It's divs.
Whatever the flavour.
Whatever the flavour.
So then the processing, however long that takes.
Bro, it is ridiculously slow.
So wouldn't we as a society be happy to contribute a bit more of our taxpayers' income to properly staff that?
Whose decision is it to overstaff it? And where do you find them people?
Process the people. But then what about...
Part of the processing is research as well. You need to know the background of these people.
Yeah, as best as you can.
Yeah. And if you can't, what do you do? There's no Wikipedia on these people. The countries that they've come from, there's no background.
And also, they're not. How willing are they going to be to give us money if they're refugees from those countries?
They have to go through an education program as well. So when they're over here, the legal immigrants, like 18 months of the program that they do where they live before they get across, the new immigrants have to do that here. Stay in your bedroom, stay in your residence. You've got some tests to pass.
Okay.
Learn about Henry VIII. Go and do that shit.
I'm sure that's useful.
But this is the process, bro. So now you sat here. People don't know this. People do not know this is actually what is happening. Find out what the processing part looks like. Why aren't we educating people?